Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by 1,000 to 1. Yes, let's start with the signed open letter going around Hollywood that opposes the merger between Warner Bros. And Paramount. The letter's main concern is the loss of jobs, and mainly industry jobs that are blue-collar. Those behind the camera that make it all work. The lighting, the sound guys, the grips, the set makers. Basically calling out that with this merger comes less TV and movie productions, which means less work and less jobs. The open letter has now been signed by over 1,000 people in the industry, from directors like Denis Villeneuve, David Fincher, J.J. Abrams, to actors like Ben Stiller, Joaquin Phoenix, and Glenn Close. Now, not that this letter will push Warner or Paramount in any way, but it is letting the studios know the fear is real. Paramount has responded to the letter, basically promising that this merger will increase work and jobs, not reduce them, which is kind of what they have to say. But Paramount has already said that they want to release 30 theatrical films a year, which is extremely ambitious. Apparently, that kind of release schedule is possible, but it's hard to make that math work. 30 films is more than what Paramount and Warner released separately last year, so I don't know how combining the companies would incentivize even more costly productions. But who knows, Ellison seems keen on it. And for TV shows, it's very hard to imagine an increase in shows and cable productions, so we'll have to see how that really all plays out. Just one note I want to make on this letter. It's nice seeing big, important people and talent come out and stand for the little guy in those blue-collar jobs. But also, it's a little bit patting yourself on the back and just wanting to be seen as a person holding firm for what's good for the industry and all those nameless people. Maybe it would be nice to see a concerted effort to fix what actually is destroying industry jobs and has been for years. And it's also happening at an accelerated rate as of late. The incentives to have productions in the U.S. have been terrible, and in fact have been incentives to leave the U.S. to do work. The tax policies, the regulations, the overall production cost just to do business has been driving the industry work out of here. Hollywood isn't Hollywood anymore, and hasn't been for a minute. London is now Hollywood. Toronto is Hollywood. Budapest, Hungary is now Hollywood. And sure, different states are trying to get things going, like Texas, Nevada, New Mexico, Louisiana, even Jersey, and of course Georgia with Atlanta there. But still, maybe these 1,000 people should make some serious noise on the political policymakers and the studio structures to change some things around and actually incentivize. California TV and film jobs fell by 35% in just the past 4 years. 46% of all U.S. scripted projects last year made overseas. So just saying, thank you for the signatures. Mark Ruffalo can feel good about himself for another week. But fomenting actual change in the right direction in the U.S. might take just a little itty-bitty more effort than that. But okay, now I'm off my soapbox, so some updates and announcements here for you. Wonka, or Wonka 2, is still happening, and in fact is already going to start production this summer, so that kind of came out of nowhere. Timothée Chalamet is set to return, and we will probably see a 2027 release for the film. Angel Studios has announced a bunch more films for this year that they're releasing. They now have 10 theatrical releases, it looks like. One of them is an Owen Wilson thriller movie, and the other one that grabbed my attention is a reimagining of Angel and the Badman, the John Wayne film from 1947. Vin Daly and myself reviewed it last year, and the lead actor cast in the movie is Tommy Lee Jones, so kind of interested in what's going on there. The animated passion project from big-time animation director Brad Bird with the movie called Ray Gun is still coming out this year on Netflix. First looks of the film were just released, along with the main voice cast has been announced. So Ray Gun will be starring Sam Rockwell, Scarlett Johansson, and Tom Waits, which, what a cool trio. Extraction 3 over on Netflix is a go, so Chris Hemsworth has finally finalized a deal, and now production for that film will start this summer. Nick Jonas will also continue his acting career over on Netflix, and he has a planned rom-com coming out by director Ari Sandel. And then lastly, Lords of War, the sequel to Nick Cage's Lord of War. That film has just wrapped production in Morocco. The film will star Nick Cage again, along with Bill Skarsgård playing Cage's son and his rival in the movie. And then the company Vertical only just acquired the rights, so the film will now officially be hitting U.S. theaters, and it will be coming out next year in 2027. So that's pretty much it, a lighter week in news, so let's jump on over to the box office for this past weekend. The fifth highest grossing film was Pixar's Hoppers, making $4.1 million. Fourth was You, Me, and Tuscany, that made $8 million. The drama had a pretty good second week, that made $8.7 million. Project Hail Mary making the second most again, $24.6 million, a worldwide total of 510. And then, of course, the number one film this weekend was once again the Super Mario Galaxy movie, making just shy of $70 million, and a worldwide total in just 2 weeks of $628 million. Very, very good for that film. Coming up this Thursday, Vincent Daly will be watching, rating, and reviewing. It's birthday week, folks. So we are watching 5 films of whatever the heck I want. Yes, indeed. So we have from 1955, The Night of the Hunter, directed by Charles Lawton. Then 1961's The Comancheros by Michael Curtis. From legend French director Jean-Pierre Melville, we have 1969's Army of Shadows. Michael Mann's The Last of the Mohicans in 92, and the newest film on the list from 2003, Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World, directed by Peter Weir. I cannot wait to hear what Vin Daly has to say about these beauties. But that's it for your weekly movie news here, folks. We'll leave you today with a quote from an actor and my boy, Mark Ruffalo. The sculptor Frosty Myers and I met when we were bidding against each other at an auction. He's an eccentric, a liberal with a collection of rifles, and his stuff is big art. We share a love of tractors. I'm trading him one for a piece of art. And all right, folks, the Daily Ratings weekly movie news podcast. That was it. See you on Thursday.